Hello viewers, well here we are then, more F1 2015, where it's all coming through from E3 gradually, and again big thanks to the guys at Gamers Eye for sending us this Circuit of the Americas. There you see a wonderful view of the circuit, really shows how Codemasters have worked hard to model the circuit, do a great job with it, all the scenery, everything that's around, really nice, the time that they've taken to maximize their graphics engine, their new graphics engine, on the new hardware, and of course running here on the Xbox One. One of the best looking racing games on the format, I would say. Certainly very impressive so far. Nice sharp lighting there as well as we start the race at the Circuit of the Americas, going up the hill to that tight hairpin, and we're in the hands of Hamilton here. So Lewis, second place yesterday, poor start for him, not the greatest of races, and eventually with his penalty from exiting, crossing the line at the pits, just settling for that second place finish. Still with a 10-point lead in the championship, long way to go yet for the top two drivers. I hope they're allowed to compete with each other. I certainly want to see the competition between them. It's funny how different circuits suit different drivers. Even myself, I can't stand this circuit when I'm racing. It just doesn't flow for me. I find that you've got one style for the first part that's been sort of cut from Silverstone and other circuits, and then you've got one style for the second part. I've never really been too keen on it, but this is being driven with the controller, and you can see pulling away here down this long straight into the heavy braking zone at the end. We saw a lot of dicing between the different cars going in there. So really this is just a look at the circuit. You know, it's not like we can get anything from the handling on any of this, but certainly so far so good. There's no audio to any of these videos, I might point out, so you're just going to hear me, and maybe I'll put a bit of music to it just to make it more exciting. But this sort of selection of corners I always find quite tricky. It's almost like what was the old track? It was a track. Oh, it's gone from my mind now. We've turned 8, as many of you might remember, all joined like that. So it's a continuous long corner as we come around that final slow corner onto the main straight. But the atmosphere is meant to be really good at this circuit. I would say at the moment, though, certainly we need more cars in the races. We need more cars. We need more competitiveness. I don't tend to talk too much about Formula 1 these days, but certainly the sport is going through a difficult phase, it has to be said, and it doesn't look like there's going to be any resolution anytime soon. Of course, 2017 we're looking at new cars again, and what changes that's going to mean to all the teams. Certainly it's going to be expensive, but certainly there's going to be a division. I think you can see a bit of a split in Formula 1 between Mercedes and Ferrari, who are quite happy to be in a position where they're going to win forever, and everybody else now. And we don't like that. We don't like one team dominating all the time. It's no good Red Bull dominating. It's no good Mercedes and Ferrari, or Mercedes in particular at the moment, but Mercedes and Ferrari dominating. We need a sport where any driver who drives fast can have some chance of making progress. Man, he's doing a decent job with this circuit, it has to be said. Decent stab. It's not an easy circuit. I know the racing line's on, but it does take a lot of concentration to do this circuit. As I say, for me, it just doesn't have a flow. Some circuits have a real flow to them. Take Brazil. It's got nice long corners to it. You're getting that flow, hugging it to the apex, letting the car accelerate gently, washing wide, and then this slow final corner. Good job there. And he comes across the finishing line into his final lap. Long old laps on this circuit, but this looks like to be a domination victory for Lewis Hamilton today. No problem from Rosberg. What have we got? A gap of 8 seconds, is that? 8 seconds. With Massa 4 seconds behind him, so certainly seems to be working well for him and improving on this lap. So what do we get from this anyway? Obviously we've been over the key things though, improved visuals and handling and everything else. We look to see the final game now to actually test it properly, to see how it's going to behave. Certainly the Codemasters graphics engine is always very capable, and I think here I'm personally very impressed with what I'm seeing running on the Xbox One at the moment. You know, there's lots of little spot effects in terms of details, and it's all running very smoothly and very sharp, and that's at the end of the day is what you need. You know, I always dial back a few of the visual effects on my PC, because frame rate and fluidity to me is more important than anything. And you know, I think Codemasters over the years have always done a cracking job, and even on the PC, you know, even games like Grid 2, once running on the PC, they looked really sharp, really amazing. Because obviously on the 360 and PS3 they just didn't retain that shine about them, but obviously now on this hardware they can really use those skills and bring it together. But we come around this final lap. I hope you've enjoyed this little run, the circuit of the Americas. We can look at the replay on this circuit in just a moment, and there'll be more from me very soon.